Yesterday, for some technical reason, the internet was gone before I went to bed. And I thought it's gonna stay for 1 hour or so and it's gonna come back. But today, we're at 2 p.m. and the internet has not come back. And it was a very, very boring day. I woke up at around 8:30 in the morning, and since then, I don't know what to do with myself. Yes, despite the reason that my full jobs are all on the internet, but I still feel it's become something very, very important in my life, to the point that I can't live a single day without the internet. The only thing that I found doing while the internet is gone is just to shoot a lot of B-roll that I'm missing in my channel. Since my channel is still very new, I still like a lot of B-roll shots. And today was the occasion to shoot a lot of B-roll that I was missing. It took me around 2 hours and a half in the morning to film a bunch of B-roll, but now I came back, it's the afternoon, and still there is no internet, and still I find it a good opportunity to shoot even more B-roll. So now let's go back to filming again. Since I just started with content creation, I only have a very minimalist setup. So I have this tripod. It's very cheap, very low quality. The rule says you need to start with what you have. And I have this microphone, Booyah something. And I have this little tripod, this one. And I use my phone to film. I have another microphone. So yeah, it's the Booyah PM500. I remember I purchased my first iPhone back in 2022. At this time, I was planning to start creating content and filming using the iPhone, since the iPhone has the best quality at the time, and I didn't even start creating content. I had some attempts before to create content, but it didn't work. But recently, I switched to a Xiaomi phone, which feels more practical to me since my iPhone hadn't that good battery. So yeah, I purchased the iPhone. 3 years later, I didn't even use it. What's been holding me from starting YouTube is just waiting for the perfect equipment, perfect setup, perfect me talking to camera, whatever. But now my mindset has changed a lot. I'm more into start with what you have and then you grow as you go. You learn more stuff, you get to experience things. This doesn't only apply to creating content, it applies to everything. You want to start reading? Start with the books that you have. You want to start cooking? Start with the pan that you have. Guys, the internet is back. Oh my god. I actually had a doubt that it will not be available during the weekend, and I was a bit worried. And at the same time, I was kind of happy because I want to use this opportunity to just sit with myself and live the boring days that usually bring more creativity and better ideas for my life and workflow and everything. But the internet is now back. Yes, I need to go back to my laptop. I need to check the internet. I feel alive. Growing up, there was no internet. We only had the radio and the TV with only 2 channels, but life was very simple and very happy. I used to spend a lot of time doing things with my hand. Most of the time, we were trying to figure out what to do next. The internet didn't really exist at the time. I mean, in my place, I didn't have money at the time to buy a smartphone. I remember the first time I got a smartphone was when I was in university. At the time, I had no interest in internet. I literally would spend days without connecting to the internet, and the only time I go is when I go to the cyber internet to connect for like 1 hour or so. I had no idea of why you should be online. But since the internet got cheaper in my country, at this time my addiction to smartphones started. I honestly miss myself not being too attached to my phone. Now, a few hours without the internet literally feel uncomfortable. And I could say it's painful. I used to be fine with silence, with empty moments. I miss the time when I had to think and figure out what to do next because I had nothing to do. Yes, the internet gave me a lot of things, but at the same time, it took something. It took my ability to just be without anything else. So now it's time to grab those footage into my desktop and start editing them. So let's get to work. One of the things that I miss when the internet was gone is listening to something while working. So now, since I'm gonna just be editing B-roll footage, which doesn't have a sound, so I don't really need to listen to anything. So I like to listen to some podcasts or something along the way. It makes the experience of editing more fun. There is something I realized when I said that I'm gonna listen to a podcast or something while doing the silent editing. I actually realized that I didn't need to listen to something, but what I actually needed is to fill the gap of silence. I didn't want to listen to my thoughts. I didn't want to stay still with myself without something in the background. When we listen to something while doing something, we think we are productive, but actually we're just trying to run from the silence. This is something that I've been struggling with, honestly, to not to listen to something if it's not important. If there is anything useful I want to talk about in this video is boredom is a good thing. I've been talking about boredom a lot in my videos, but I really couldn't stress enough on how important this is for me, because I genuinely started seeing a lot of benefits of putting myself in boring situations. These are the rare moments when you talk real to yourself, when you find creative ideas, and when you find real solutions for your problems. Filming B-roll footage was something that I was postponing for days. But suddenly when the internet was gone and level 1 entertainment was gone, then suddenly filming B-roll was something cool and interesting, and it became a new level of entertainment for my brain rather than just staying still and doing nothing. And to me, it's the most practical way to cure your procrastination. So I can't stress enough on how important boredom is for you.